Welcome to Fringe Fanatics with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
And we are back. It is episode 17 of Fringe Fanatics. I am Chris Zane.
And I am Chad Lee. Thanks for tuning in.
And it's a little bit different this week. Since Chad was gone, it is now Saturday.
It's a late episode.
And it's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, as it is the last episode of the year, because it is New Year's Eve today.
Woohoo!
So, Chad, how have you been, my friend?
I've been good. Yeah, I've been out of town. We went and saw some family down in Parsons,
Nice.
UK. Then we went up to Lexington, Missouri.
Misery.
Yep.
He's up there in misery.
I got to see
James
the
Caan,
in-laws, if you will.
Kathy Bates.
Yeah, not them. But, yeah, we got to hang out with the fam. It was great. I got into my fantasy football championship and won. And then I'm in the fantasy football championship in our league.
Yeah, I've not been in it.
It's been a good year in fantasy, that's for sure.
Yeah, you came back at the end.
I did.
We didn't think you were going to make it.
I
Look
know.
at you.
Yeah.
All the way to the top. He clawed and crawled all the way from the bottom of the mountain to the top.
Alex tried counting me out halfway into the season. He's like, trade away Chase. Just trade him away. Give me Jamar. And it's like, no, man, I'm going to need him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And now look.
Here you are. So, yeah, I had a pretty good Christmas, too. It wasn't too bad. Kind of laid back. Kind of, a little low-key Christmas, which wasn't too bad.
That's cool.
What are you getting into tonight?
We're going to be going to see my favorite band, STS9, at the Fillmore. They have hosted a New Year's run about every 2 to 3 years here in Denver. They have a huge fan base here, and I just can't wait, man. I think this will be my 10th time seeing them.
That's cool.
Yeah, going to get nice and funky.
You're a STS9 head.
Yeah. The proper term is a sector knot, if you will.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. I
Yep,
was
there you go.
not
Get it
aware
right.
of that.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you learn something new every day, folks.
Yeah, there's
especially
deadheads,
on the
parrot
Fringe
heads.
Fanatics podcast.
Yep.
Well, right now, if you are listening and you've made it this far, please like, share, subscribe, and follow, and rate us on whatever it is you're listening to or watching us on. It helps us immensely. And also, excuse me, we do have a link tree now, and that is linktr.ee/fringe_fanatics. We do accept donations on there now. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Please go and donate to us. We also, I forgot, I'd be remiss if we didn't mention this, but we might have some big things coming down the pike here soon. We might be upgrading even more.
Yes.
So stay tuned.
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't know if next episode or the one after that, but things are going to be changing. It's getting better. It's getting bigger.
Yeah.
And we're also going to get it to you quicker now through this. So stay tuned for that. The little teaser, which means that you have to listen to next episode. But meanwhile, let's get into episode 17.
Let's do it, Chris.
It's the last one of the year, man. And to that, I think we need to do this leadoff shot. And here's to a new year. Here's to bigger and better things with the pod. And here's to a good, what are we at, 4 months and a quarter now?
Yeah, and, let's think back at this. We really wanted to get this going. I think I was at the pool one time in the summer, and I just texted you. I was like, Chris, we have to fucking do this. I'm tired of talking about it. And then so we set a goal to at least have it up and live by the season started. We did that.
We did.
And we set another goal to be able to do a live episode when we went to the Chiefs-Broncos game.
You're right.
We did that.
You're right.
Let's keep setting these goals and achieving them. And
knocking them
out of
down,
the
man.
park,
Set them up. Knock them down. Cheers to you guys. Anybody that's listened or participated anyway with the show, we appreciate you. Cheers to you. Cheers to a new year. Cheers, my friend.
Happy New Year's.
Got the last of the
Basil Hayden.
Basil hated.
Yep.
Which Basil shouldn't. I hope that's somebody's name. There's not a
I would
good
imagine
flavor
so.
profile for whiskey, Basil.
Kentucky bourbon, man. That's definitely one of my favorites.
All
That's
right.
good.
So this episode is a little bit different. We're not going to do breakdowns and deep dives of last week. We're not even going to recap last week.
We're past that.
I mean, you're going to get a little bit of a recap when we go through our picks just because we're going to talk about, previous things that happened. But we are past that. Thursday night already happened. Cowboys won in not the most convincing fashion, but they did win. But before we get into football, we're going to get into that NBA fast break. So we're going to hit some NBA stuff and talk with you guys about that. And let's get it started.
All right, let's go.
So big news. LeBron yesterday is his birthday. Goes off for 47 on his 38th birthday against the Hawks. After getting off to a slow 1-5 start shooting, he finished going 18 of 27 to the tune of 47 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. This all came after coming out to the media saying he wants to give himself a chance to win and still compete for a championship. It looks like saying that kind of revived him and the team, because even the team kind of showed up and fought back. And we all thought after AD went down that this would be the effective end of the Lakers. So
you would think so, especially after he had a statement, I think about a week and a half ago, where he said something around the tune of, if I'm not playing championship basketball or meaningful basketball, then it's not in my DNA. And he said it's not in my DNA anymore.
Yeah, to just play basketball to play basketball.
Yeah, so this resurgence from him is kind of surprising. He's been having a lot more youthful looking nights where he's been throwing down some dunks ferociously.
Yeah, it is, I guess, nice to see. You don't want him to go out on just like limping and hobbling, but I don't know. I don't think that it's going to be enough to make them relevant, especially with AD being out for at least a foreseeable future. They did say he is healing quicker than they thought, but when he comes back, how long till he's hurt again? So, yeah. It's tough with the Lakers right now. They're having some issues.
And on LeBron with that game, he is now the third player to score 45-plus points after or 38 years old or older, basically.
Vince Carter's got to be one of those.
Nope, actually he's
really?
not. It's Jamal Crawford, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and MJ. Yep.
Damn, and MJ was probably on the Bobcats.
What
were they?
No, they weren't the Bobcats. They were the Wizards back then.
Oh, yeah, that's
he
right.
owned the Bobcats for a short amount of time.
Yeah. But, yeah, so it's crazy to see him, especially after coming out and saying that, and everybody was like, oh, man, he's, taking shots at the front office, basically saying we need to get guys in here to get us to compete through the rest of this year, because obviously this dream team's not working the way they thought. So it's definitely cool to see him, I guess, after saying that, kind of put his money where his mouth is and at least put it out on the court that way. But LeBron doesn't need any more championships. So.
No, I agree. It's going to be fun to see the new guys in there.
What else you got? You got anything else in terms of news? And
oh, yeah. There's been some recent things in the NBA that's been pretty interesting. We've had the Pelicans that's continued to look good. Just last night.
First.
Well, yeah, they're tied with us, or do they hold the tiebreaker?
I think they hold the tiebreaker.
That's what I was afraid of. Yeah,
we lost to him earlier.
So C.J. McCollum had a huge night last night, 42 points. And most of that coming from a ridiculous night from the arc. 11 of 16 from the three-point line.
He was, or was that the whole team? I did see that.
That was him.
Jeez.
11 threes, man.
33 points just out there.
That's fucking crazy.
Beyond the
think
arc.
They would start guarding him or something. But and I don't know if I didn't write this down, but now it just came to me that, man, Zion, have you seen what these players have been saying about him?
He's playing football. We out here playing basketball.
That quote was awesome. He's out here playing football. We out here playing basketball.
Yeah. It's because they can't do anything to him. Once he goes, he should just get the ball every time and just drive to the basket.
I think it was like 2 or 3 games ago they closed out the game, and he had like the last 17 points of the team. And I think it was C.J. McCollum that said it was just get Zion the ball and get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
And he's been taking shit over. He's fully healthy. He's had a lot of spring to him, he can get up there, so it's really letting them take over.
I think all of that shit talking over the offseason about his weight and about how much he really cares seems to have lit a fire under his ass. So.
He definitely lost some weight, and good on him for hearing those critics. And I've always said fat shaming works.
It does. Yeah. It does, unless it's yourself. But yeah, another crazy thing though we gotta talk about. This is a little bit older, but there's been a little bit more that's come from it in the last couple days. 11 players were suspended after the Magic's Piston game last Wednesday, which was pretty crazy if you've seen the video. Moritz Wagner gets knocked out by Killian Hayes after running him into the bench. There's also, both those guys got multi-game suspensions. Killian Hayes losing the most money out of everybody here with $121,000 coming out of what would have eventually been his paychecks.
Yep.
The other 11 suspensions will result in over $500,000 in total fines, and they had to stagger the Magic suspensions just so they could field a full team on the next game.
It was a huge brawl.
8 guys on the Magic's just, you're done.
Cue in the meme of Ron Burgundy where that escalated quickly.
Or even the semi-pro. Somebody hit somebody!
Yeah. I mean, it just looked like a small little scuffle and turned into a lot more fast.
Yeah. It's because all those Magic guys ran down after you leave the bench. You're going to get suspended.
Can't do that.
Don't do it. One other notable thing, Giannis joins Wilt and Elgin Baylor, which we've been saying those names a lot lately with the likes of Jokic and Luka going off this season, which I think right there are your 2 MVP frontrunners, if you ask me. But Giannis joins Wilt and Elgin as they are the only players in history to record back-to-back games of 40, 20, and 5. Wilt did it 5 times in his career. The last was the last time that it happened, which was in January 6th and 7th in 1966. So it's been a while since it's happened. It's crazy. We're watching all these guys, and we talked about this a little bit. These are all European guys that right now, I mean, if you look at it, I think it's, like I just said, Jokic, Doncic, and Giannis Antetokounmpo as the front runners for the MVP, all 3 European guys.
Yeah.
And this is crazy. It's a little bit off topic of where I wanted to go, but I did watch an interview with Luka, and I forget who he was talking to, but he was saying it's harder to score in the European League than it is in the NBA.
I'm really glad you brought that up.
Because there's no 3-point, like the guys can just stand in there.
Yeah.
There's no 3-second violation. So like they can just stand underneath the rim all game.
And there's a lot to do with, and I wasn't aware of this until I actually watched that documentary that I recommended earlier in the year of the Redeem Team, but how the rules are actually fairly different in international play where when it comes to
that until
fouling.
You just said that.
Yeah, that's why they talk about the grit of the Euro guys, because the ticky-tack fouls, the superstar fouls and stuff that they get in the NBA, that doesn't happen worldwide. So I think that's something to note, and it's just kind of cool for him to have a huge game like that and then come out and say, yeah, it's easier to do it here.
Yeah.
And it just kind of makes him look even cooler, really.
I like how after he scored that 60, was it 60,
20, and 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're like, how do you feel? He's like, I'm fucking tired.
Yeah, it's so honest, man. It's so honest.
We shared the video, too, after he hit that game tying, after he purposely missed the free throw.
That was impressive.
Well, it bounced off somebody. Then he rebounded it, immediately threw it up, scores the point to tie the game, and then he does the goofiest, like, dance you've ever seen.
That was pretty weird. I think he was so in shock that it happened. I mean, it's like something you see when you play 21 in your backyard or something like that. You want to hit it off the rim and then try to put it up real quick, and it actually worked. I saved a photo. I don't know. I know it's in my phone somewhere, but like I saw something where NBA teams were like, I don't even want to say a number, but it was in like the tens of thousands. And it was
like 13,000.
Yeah, 13,000.
And 13,000 some number when not having the lead with 9 seconds left.
Yeah, the lead with 9 with 33 seconds left, with 33 or more seconds left.
Yeah,
and
9 seconds. They were down with 9 seconds left.
That's
and
all.
He turned it around because he missed that free throw and then got that rebound.
Man, I mean that just makes it that much more incredible.
So yeah,
and then he had a huge game after that too with another 35. So he had two games. He had 95 points.
Yeah, I posted that on the. I forget what it was, one of our stories, where it was Luka as a kid, and then you just see Jokic as a kid, and Jokic just looks like the biggest goober ever. And like these two right now are doing things that have never been done in the NBA before,
right?
Like haven't been done in years.
They don't look like your typical. Oh, you see him in grade school, and those are going to be stars. They just look like regular
Nobody
kids.
saw Jokic as a 12-year-old and was like, that guy's going to be the best basketball player on earth one day.
He must have grown like a foot and a half between his like 8th and freshman year or something. Like that. I mean, I don't know.
That was probably a painful experience.
Something in the water in Serbia.
Well, we're not going to go down like a full rabbit hole of deep dives on the leaders of the conferences. We're just going to kind of touch on them and talk about where they're at. We're going to start with the Eastern Conference. We got Boston in first at 26-10. They are still rolling, and I don't see any chance of them stopping. They do got to play the Nuggets tomorrow.
Oh, no shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Damn.
New Year's Day. So I'll
That'll
probably be
be
watching that over
Yeah.
the Broncos game.
Sounds about right.
But yeah, and then you got the Bucks, who Boston and the Bucks have been sitting in the same spots since basically the start of the season, first and second.
Mhm.
Bucks are sitting at 23-12. They've got a little ways to go to catch up, and I think Boston does have the tiebreaker on them, if I remember correctly. And then the big surprise in the Eastern Conference is the Nets are now in third.
I have a little note here on the
23 and
Nets.
12.
I talked about them for a little bit, and I just want to. They're worth mentioning because I think they've tied the winning streak total this year, which is I think 10. They've won 10 in a row.
Yep.
That's the longest streak you get this year by any team. And Kevin Durant passed Tim Duncan for 15th all time in scoring, and then he passed Kobe Bryant for most three-pointers made in that same game. So it's hard to believe that someone that is that young, he did only play 1 year in college, but he's just scored so efficiently, and his field goal percentage has always been so high that he's already passing these Hall of Famers.
Well, yeah, when he first came out, nobody knew how to guard him.
Yeah.
He was so lanky. They're like, there's no way to actually defend him,
And
he
he
just
just-
shoots over you.
And he's automatic in that mid-range jumper right outside the free throw line.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so automatic. So, yeah, he's already moving up there. You definitely would imagine he's going to move in the top 10 before the end of the season. But, yeah, 10 in a row for them. I mean, they've really got it going and turned that season around for them. I mean, they were looking really sorry early.
Especially with all the shit going on early with the Kyrie stuff, and then everything going on there. We were basically thinking that they were going to be like the Lakers this year, just kind of bottom feeders. But
Yeah.
here they are. They're in third place, and they're surging right now.
It should
They're
make
tied with the Bucks actually at 23-12, so they could easily move into second here in the next couple days.
Yeah, definitely, if they continue on the pace that they're on. And I kind of hope it does. It'll make the Eastern Conference playoffs a lot more interesting.
Yeah, it will, because you'd hope to. Because that's the thing with Boston leading. Really, the Bucks are the only team they have to worry about.
Oh yeah,
and they need some other type of team, and the Nets could be that with Kyrie and Durant that could unseat somebody in the playoffs. But
yeah,
it's just those 7-game series are tough to get out of.
it's so hard to decide. I mean, home game or home field advantage definitely plays a factor in that.
Definitely.
Yeah. Couple other things. Devin Booker is now listed as out for the next 4 weeks with an injury. That's going to be a big blow to the Suns.
Yeah, that is going to hurt. The Nuggets beat them up the other night without Devin. Well, that wouldn't necessarily.
Oh, they went into
beat them
overtime.
up, but yeah, it just
it
was
was
a
a great
very
game.
good game. I do think maybe if Devin Booker was playing, they might have
Excuse me.
lost that game. Bless you, child.
I
But-
bet so. Maybe.
Yeah, the Nuggets, which we'll talk about right now. I mean, Western Conference leaders, not the Nuggets, the Pelicans, like we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, tied with the Pelicans.
Technically
kinda.
tied, but they have the tiebreaker on us because they beat us earlier because we decided to play them shitty. Pelicans at 23-12 are leading, and like we talked about, they are kicking ass right now. The Nuggets are in second at 23-12, and then you've got the Grizz at 21-13 in third, and I think they're feeling the effects of Ja's statement still.
Oh, they got buried on Christmas Day because of that. What Clay was doing to those guys, I mean, that was
Draymond too, when Draymond blocked that shot from Morant and looked over him, was like,
yeah. I mean, you just can't say shit like that in the NBA, especially against like 4-time NBA champs like those guys, like Clay.
a literal dynasty.
Clay's statements, and I texted you after that game when we were talking about those statements by Clay. I love it because he's always talked trash so calmly because he has the rings and the accolades to back it up. I didn't see it until later, like maybe a day or two afterwards, but when I can't remember, I'm not going to try to say, but one of the guys on the Grizzlies tried taking a three, it bricked, and then he fell backwards, and Clay was just in his face, like shuffling with him the whole way.
Just looking at
Just
it.
being
You got a
like,
T
"What?"
for it, but
Yeah, I mean, oh well, it's
technical,
worth
it's worth it.
it.
Yeah, that one was pretty good to see. I definitely think people are now going to make an example out of them.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to really show if they're good enough. Another thing I think is funny, though, I've seen a lot of highlights of Ja's missed dunks. Have you been seeing that?
Yeah, I think there was a headline that popped up, and I wanted to click on
Like,
it.
look at these missed dunks. And, like, it'd be cooler if he made them.
Yeah,
Because I
not
saw
really
Aaron
a
Gordon
dunk.
make one of the fucking sickest dunks I've ever seen.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought
Meaningful
this up.
too.
We would be remiss if we didn't talk about that. When I mean, it's now wallpapers. It's now like iconic
I just
photo.
got goosebumps thinking about it right
I did,
now.
yeah. Because I mean, sometimes there's been a couple photoshops of it too, where they've just enhanced it, made it kind of like a little more,
Yeah.
you know, spiced it up a little. But it was amazing, you know. And we were just talking about that overtime game against the Suns in the last seconds. Gordon goes down and just posters. What's his name for the Suns?
Oh shit, I
can't remember his name
Oh,
right now.
it's
He's just a
Landry
role-
something or.
Yeah, he's just a role player, but I mean, the guy.
He was keeping him in the game at the end. That guy was hitting some legit shots, but yeah, he was in the way of Aaron Gordon, a man on a mission.
And he was. I mean, he stepped back from the corner block and just launched it and just reached up like Space Jam and got it in there. And
I think his arm actually, like MJ, stretched.
I
little
think
bit.
it was, man. He had some Looney Tunes power there. He had that special water, I think, you know.
Yeah.
It was super impressive, and I mean, it's good. I think hands down right now, the dunk of the year so far. It's going to be hard to top that.
I
one.
call it the dunk of the decade
Yeah.
on our social media. I don't know if anybody else feels that way.
I
but-
think it might catch on. You never know. There's a lot of good ones for sure.
Let's
But
hope. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was awesome. One funny thing to mention on that before we move on. Did you hear what Jokic said about that play?
I saw his facial reaction, which was great, but I didn't see what he said.
He just said, "I was open."
Yeah, because when they show his face, he's just like, oh. And I got to looking at it, and if Gordon
just
would have just
wide open.
passed it off,
Yeah, he
it
could
would
just-
have
but
easy layup.
Goran's like, "Fuck this, dude." End your career.
Oh my god, that dunk was awesome.
It was awesome. Oh shit! I guess I
You got a
should.
timer going off.
No, I should end my phone call. Oh yeah, we should mention. Speaking of timers, we aren't doing a bias buzzer beater. This
Oh
week
yeah, I
either,
didn't even
so,
think about that. Oh well.
But yeah, look at that. My phone ring just mentioned
We'll get back to that
reminded us of that. Let's move on to the 5 minutes in the box. It's a quick breakdown of what's going on. in
Real
the
quick,
NHL.
if we
Chad's got
would,
one
I
more
want
thing.
to continue on somewhat of that daily dose that we had last week for Jokic because it's continued for him.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah, that's
I just
true.
got a quick little thing I want to talk about here where he continues that campaign for third straight MVP. After last night's win against Miami, he joins Wilt once again as the only player in history to average a triple-double while averaging above 60% field goal percentage in a month span. There was when I read the article, Wilt did it for 2 months actually straight, of course, but
It's crazy.
you know, it just seems like almost every game we see Jokic's name involved with Wilt somehow or another. And so I just wanted to list off the last 5 games that Jokic has had. It's actually gone on for, I could have done like the last 8 or 9 because he just
Because
continues
what he's
to
averaging
stretch.
is insane.
It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. He's basically averaging a triple-double, but I just figured I'd pull from these 5 games, and it just dates back from the most recent ones. The Heat at the Nugs last night, 19, 12, and 12, a triple-double. Game before that, the Nugs at the Kings, 47 and 6. And then right before that, the Nugs at the Kings again, 20, 11, and 9. Then a couple days before that, on Christmas Day, he had that big game, 41, 15, and 15. And then just a couple days before that, 29, 11, and 8 against the Blazers. Unbelievable, man.
That's your MVP right there.
That is. I mean, the consistency right now and the fact that they're even still calling this a close race is getting kind of frustrating because Tatum is not putting up numbers anywhere close to this.
And I think I might have mentioned this to you, but like 2 weeks ago, Jokic was 20-1 to win the MVP.
Yep. Yeah.
And after like a week ago, he was then 4-1 to win the MVP.
Right.
So he's jumped up in the last couple of weeks, and he's just continuing to do it. And this team's starting to fire on all cylinders. I mean, you're seeing. I mean, Jamal's still having hit or miss games, but everybody else, Aaron Gordon's playing. He's having one of his best years in his career right now. The guy's 3rd in the league in dunks. I think he has like 90 dunks right
One
now.
of my favorite from that Suns game, along with that monstrous dunk he had at the end, which was just an exclamation
Oh yeah,
point.
we should mention he had 7 dunks in that game.
And the reels from that game where people were like, why did I bet on this game when they've got a player from the Monstars? I mean, seriously, it looked like if you watch the highlight of all of his dunks, he looks like it's like Space Jam where he just playing with kids.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so entertaining watching.
When you have a guy
play.
like Jokic and you're a guy like Gordon who's just like waiting for the ball to be alley-oop to him, like it's like the perfect marriage.
It's unbelievable how just fast he can get off from being flat-footed up in the air and catching alley-oop in.
Yeah.
You know, it's so entertaining.
It's fun to see, and we're gonna get to watch him tomorrow in a big game against.
Is that in Boston?
I think it is in
Yeah, I
Boston.
wasn't afraid
That's
of
what
that.
sucks.
Yeah.
Let me double check though. That might not be. But we're gonna move on to the 5 minutes in the box. Just a quick breakdown of the NHL.
Chris, you take this. I'm gonna put the Jayhawk game on.
All right, yeah,
Alabama. We're watching the Alabama and K-State game right now, and Alabama's up 35-10 right now, and I'm tired of seeing this blowout.
Oh, no.
I really wanted
Son of
Alabama
a
to
bitch.
lose.
Well, you guys are gonna hear me talk just about a quick rundown of what's going on in the NHL right now. So we've got in the news the Maple Leafs fined $100,000 by the NHL for a travel violation during the CBA mandated holiday break, which if you don't know, the CBA argued that they needed to have 3 days off for Christmas, which I think is totally fine. So from 12/23 to 12/26, there is absolutely no hockey allowed. And the Maple Leafs decided to leave on 12/26 to get a little jump on getting to the game the next day. And they got a $100,000 fine, which will now be donated to the NHL Foundation, which was, I guess, it is kind of shitty, though, because the Avalanche did have a game on Monday, 12/27, and they had to travel they had to practice, travel, and play a game all on the same day, which I just feel like is a little bit unfair, but that is what the CBA wanted, and there's going to be obviously some stipulations and some negative things that come along with that. And having a travel day of the game is what would have happened, and the Maple Leafs would have been in the same circumstance if they did travel like they were supposed to on the 27th. But, you know, it is what it is. They got a big fine for it, and that's just what happens when you break the rules. You got to pay for it. In terms of other news, this one's a little bit more Avalanche related, and Nathan MacKinnon could return tonight against the Maple Leafs, who we were just talking about. They do play at 5 o'clock because it's in Toronto, so it's a little bit of an earlier game. Excuse me. MacKinnon has missed the last 11 games with the old dreaded upper body injury in the NHL. We don't know what exactly was hurt, but his general upper body area was injured, and he could not play hockey for 11 games. He is still wearing a no-contact sweater in practice, but I did hear at practice on Friday he did throw a hit on one of his teammates in the corner at practice. So obviously he's feeling better. I think that might have been a sign that, hey, coach, I'm ready to get back in there. So tonight he will be back. Darren Helm could also return soon. The Avs are still without, and this is just the forwards, people, Landeskog, Nichushkin, Kaut, and then for defensemen, they've got Bowen Byram, Josh Manson, and their backup goalie now, Pavel Francouz, is also now out.
The injury bug has hit him.
Injury bug's kicking their ass.
It's like
and
a virus.
Yeah, we'll get into where they're at here shortly because I did include them. I was doing the top 3 of each division because we're going to do kind of the same thing and just kind of run through where people are at right now. In terms of the Atlantic Division, you've got the Bruins in first with 59 points. They are still the best team in hockey at this point in time. The Maple Leafs are in second with 50 points, and the Lightning, who were in the Stanley Cup last year, are still in third with 45 points. Moving on to the Metropolitan Division, you've got the Hurricanes with 54 points in first. The Devils, who are one of the better teams, I think, this year that, like we were talked about before, they were, I think they had one of the top 2 picks last year, and now they are, surging in the NHL, and they're one of the better teams. Going from one of the worst to one of the better teams is hard to do. And then you've got the Capitals with 45 points, which is pretty wild. I don't know why it's wild, but they've got 45 points. Moving on to the Central Division, you've got the Stars with 50 points. In first place, the Jets in second with 45 points. The Wild are in third with 42 points. And the Avs, with all those injuries, are hanging around in fourth place with 42 points. The Pacific Division, the Knights, 50 points, are in first. The Kings have 48 points. They are in second. And the Oilers are in third with 42 points. The one thing, what I meant to say was wild about the Capitals. Ovechkin did just become the second leading goal scorer in NHL history, passing Gordie Howe. I think he has 803 now.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's legendary.
I don't know if he's going to catch Gretzky. Gretzky's got like 890.
He would have to, of course, come back next year and then have another stellar year.
Yeah. So, pretty wild. Ovechkin now the second best hockey player ever. He finally got the Capitals that, lauded Stanley Cup a few years back. So, Capitals are still hanging around, and Ovechkin's still doing the damn thing. And I think he did get both of them. He tied Howe and passed him in the same game.
Yeah, I think he had like 2 or 3 in that game.
Which is pretty well.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Still that guy.
That's going to wrap it up for the NHL. We are going to have – we forgot last week. I mentioned that it would be the last week of FEA. There is one more week. There's 5 weeks in December, and I don't know how the calendar works. So one more FEA song coming at you right now. No hablo español. If you can, please go like and follow FEA on anything you can, and check out their stuff on Spotify. Visit their website, fea210.com, and enjoy this song. We will be back shortly.
And we are back. That was the last feature of FEA of the month. Thanks to them for letting us feature their music. They are really rad, and keep checking them out.
Yeah, if you could, like I said just before, go visit their website, fea210.com. That's FEA210.com. I don't know if they're still running their 10% off deal. They might be. Either way, even if they aren't, go and buy something for full price because they're cool. And they were really rad to let us play their music for a month. And we'll have a new guest next month. That guest will be Fast Eddie. They are good friends of mine, so we will be featuring them all of January. And let's get into the picks. But before we do, we got to do another shot because it's the shot at the turn. And this technically is right now the halfway point of the show.
It is. We're finally doing one right at the halfway. Here we
Cheers.
go.
Cheers to you guys. If you haven't taken a shot yet, you should. It is noon right now, so at least we aren't total drunks.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Exactly. So cheers to you guys. Cheers to us.
Cheers.
Oh, that was... Did you put Fireball in there?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were going to do that.
Oh, shit. Sorry. I thought that's what you wanted, man.
No, I was going to do that for my whiskey wager.
Well,
but...
there's still about another half of the shot. I didn't want to overflow it, so I can pour that.
Oh, it's been a while, Fireball.
Yeah, I bet so, man. That brings up some old T-Joe memories right there.
That was a hug from the past.
So it got us through those late night rushes, man.
Yeah. If only they knew how intoxicated we were back there sometimes.
I know Dean caught us a few times with beers in the cooler.
Yeah.
Fucking district manager.
Oh, Dean. Mean Dean.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's move on from past jobs and Tokyo Joe's.
So let's talk about our picks from last week. How did you come out?
Oh, let me see.
Did you add them up?
I did. Hold on.
Well, I went 11 for 16. I had a pretty rough week. Most times I do a little bit better than that.
I think I was one below you. I was 10.
Are you serious? I always finish one above you.
It's because we pick very similar,
Yeah.
aside from the whiskey.
And then there's
wager.
one that sets us off. Yeah.
Yeah, this week, though, it looks like it's going to be a little bit different.
This one just seems almost like a chalk week. Almost all the games you just want to go
Next
for.
week is going to be interesting.
Oh, next week's going to be nuts. You never know who's resting starters or what.
Yeah, there still might be a lot of teams in it, though, because there's still a lot of teams in it right now.
Yeah, this is going to be a crazy year.
We both picked Dallas. Dallas won because
Yep.
we were supposed to record a show before that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, we did both pick Dallas ahead of time.
So that one we don't need to spend any time on.
Nope.
Arizona at Atlanta. I've got Atlanta, and I'll tell you why.
Tell me why.
They've got an old man at quarterback in Desmond Ridder, who's only 25, but he looks like he's 45. And they've got a really good running game. And
He's not
Tyler,
a good quarterback.
he isn't.
No.
They're finding that out pretty quickly. But they don't need a good quarterback because they run the hell out of the ball. And when you have the three-headed monster of Cordarrelle Patterson, Tyler Algier, and I can't remember Caleb Huntley, yeah. They don't need to do much throwing. So
I'm going to be starting Tyler Algier in my fantasy football in your nephew's league because I think I'm going to bench. I've got another guy that I normally wouldn't. Oh, it was Tony Pollard. That since he wasn't playing, I was like, this is perfect time to play Tyler Algier. And
yeah.
against the Cardinals defense, which is really bad. The only thing I would think of is like maybe J.J. Watt's really going to go out with a bang. He announced his retirement.
He did.
Legendary career. What an outstanding
one of those poor
NFL
guys
players.
who
Yeah.
didn't win ever.
He was never on a great team, unfortunately.
and the shitty thing was, even when they went like 12-4, they were in divisions where they weren't. They couldn't even make it into the playoffs. Even in the years where they did win.
And it happened to be a year where they had Deshaun Watson, and then Watson goes up and puts 24 up on the Chiefs, and then we come back and beat him. And he just could never really get over that hump because he never really was on a great team.
And he can tell right now, you got to get out of Arizona while you can.
Oh, yeah.
They're about to burn that whole thing down.
I think so. It's so crazy that they're the HBO in-season thing right now.
I've been watching it. I finally got caught up a couple days ago, and it was the last game was the last one they put out. I think it might have been the end of the season. I don't know how many they're doing, but it was the game Kyler got hurt.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or no, the last game they put out was the Broncos game.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was exciting to get to watch.
What do you think?
Again.
Do you think it would be all right to see J.J. Watt in the booth? I think he'd be a perfect personality.
I think he's gonna go there.
I would imagine so.
At this point, he's one of those people that you could just see it transition very easily into being a TV personality.
He's been on shows like New Girl and just acting, cameos all over the place. So I could see it. But let's go ahead and move on. We both got Atlanta pick. They're favored by 5.5.
This one we're differing on. Chicago at Detroit. Well, I'm at. I guess where are you at? Because yours are always off of mine. I'm on to Chicago at Detroit.
Yeah, that's what I'm on.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've got Chicago.
You've got Chicago picked in this game. Is that because of the horrible Lions defense?
Yes.
You think
I
Fields is
think
going
they're
to
run all over them.
It's possible. I mean, that run defense last week looked bad. I think, what's his name? Deontay Foreman had 165?
And Chuba Hubbard had 125.
Chuba Hubbard. Yeah, is that a bubble gum?
Chuba. It's Chuba, but I always say Chuba because that's the way it's spelled, so I'm sorry.
It always makes me think of Hubba Bubba.
Hubba Bubba. You got any Hubba Bubba, man? I need some Hubba Bubba.
Yeah.
They both set career highs, and they beat them up bad. So I think you're going to see something similar. I mean, Fields can still throw the ball, and he has been proving that over the last couple of weeks. He still can sling it. It's not just a running quarterback, although that is all that they can really do with him right now. But I just think Chicago wins this one. I could be wrong.
Well, let's start this one. We might come back for this for the whiskey wager.
Okay,
I bet we'll have another one that we differ from.
Moving on to the next game, Denver at Kansas City. Is that what you got?
Yep.
Okay. I've got Kansas City.
Yeah. Right now.
But I would not be surprised if somehow Denver pulled it off.
Well, what scares me about the whole firing...
Dude, you got General Jerry Rosberg in there now.
Yeah.
Things have changed.
Anytime you have a locker room where they hate the coach, they can't stand the coach, then that coach gets
I don't
fired.
think they hated the coach.
I mean,
That's the thing. Everybody liked him. And I just think he just was very bad. And I think the Russell marriage, it's like we talked about, it was a secondhand thing that they just kind of forced together.
Yep.
But he's gone now, and you've seen them circle the wagons around Russ for the first time this year. Multiple teammates have come out and said that they're supporting him. Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, Cortland Sutton, Garrett Bowles. But yeah, so
it's surprising that Sutton did that, because in that last game, you saw
pissed.
that play where Russ got picked off, and before the pass was even intercepted, he knew it, waving up his hands, and then walked off the field before the ball was even intercepted, because he knew. It was almost like when you shoot a 3 and then you walk off, but you know you're going to make it. It was like the opposite of that.
That's the other team's ball.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't surprise me.
Well,
I mean, we've played them aside from the last game, which was a blowout until the end. We do tend to play Kansas City fairly close, but I, in my heart, think it's going to be a blowout. But in my mind, there's this slight possibility that they get that firing push.
I looked at the injury report, and god damn, man, it goes down the line.
19
for you guys.
on IR.
Yeah.
And 5 didn't practice on Wednesday.
Randall Gregory, which is huge because he came back and then punched a player.
He didn't get suspended, though. They appealed it.
Oh, they appealed it?
And he got a $50,000 fine.
I see. Well, he did not practice yesterday.
He did have a knee thing, though.
Yeah.
So
I doubt he plays.
And then Dulcich done for the year.
Oh, wow.
Hamstring. He's on IR, so that's 20 now back on IR. We did get down to 19 from 22, and then now we're back to 20.
That's rough. The Chiefs are 12.5 favorites. It was 10 until the firing of Hackett. But, yeah, I mean, I think this one, KC handles business pretty well.
They should.
They need, because if this, like Patrick said in that last post-game conference, like each week it's either the defense plays good or the offense, or one part of the team is not showing up. And so he called it out and said, we need all phases to show up. So they might make it this game to where it actually happens, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, the Broncos are probably going to go in all, we're going to do it. And then, like, the first kickoff, there's going to be, like, a fumble.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it, man, the way they've been playing this year.
Moving on to the next one, Miami at New England. I have Miami in this one.
Really?
You got New England.
Started this one, too, because I have New England. I don't have faith in Teddy Two Gloves against Bill Belichick.
I don't have faith in the New England offense.
Yeah,
and I don't think Mac Jones does either.
Well, what I've got written down,
that's the problem,
is if they can score 27 points, I think they can win. Because Miami's defense, they've lost 4 straight.
Yeah,
they're gonna. Their defense has been declining really fast.
They have lost the last 4, so I just think maybe they turn it around on this one. They've got. It is Belichick though, but I'm gonna stick with it and go with Miami.
Yeah, well, I would expect this to be a big bounce-back game for Ramondre Stevenson. I would have bet that he's going to have 120 yards plus from scrimmage.
That would be nice. They're going to need it.
Yeah.
So
we do have Teddy Two Gloves starting this game, and the Pats are favored by 2.5. So
yeah,
I'm taking the Pats. You're taking the Dolphins.
Yes, sir. Indianapolis at the Giants. We've both got the Giants.
Yes, we do.
Indy is a shitstorm.
No doubt about it.
Jeff Saturday is proving that you can't just come out of the booth and into the coaching and expect something good to happen.
He wasn't even in the booth. He was like in the
ESPN that's right.
Panel.
He's just an analyst.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just wow. That team has fallen apart and just gotten worse and worse.
They really have, and it's just like, especially after leading that game
against the Vikings
at halftime.
That's what
33 to nothing, and then to lose like that. And that's not the only game that they've lost in the second half like that. I mean, they are not doing very good in the second half of football games.
Yeah, because I wish I could have the actual numbers here, but I want to say it's like fucking 98-9 or something that they've been outscored in the second half, like in the last 4 or 5 games. Like horrible.
Yeah, it's hard to win.
So the Giants, and I mean Barkley, I did want to mention it, man. He's really starting to look a lot more like himself. He's been having some really good games, rushing and receiving. It may not be a full rushing game, but he's starting to just do it all for the Giants because he is all they have.
Well, Brian Daboll's a smart coach. He isn't trying to force his system on players that aren't meant to be in that system. He realized what he has, and he's using what he has to the best of their advantages.
That is true.
You know, it's working.
He's a good coach.
It does seem like he's going to work out for them. I think they just need to get an actual quarterback, and then they'll be set.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Nolans at Philadelphia. I've got Philadelphia, even with Minshew starting. So,
Minshew mania. Yeah.
Last time I saw he went out, he put up 34. I don't think New Orleans is going to put up 34 with the Red Rocket. So
No. I think that Andy Dalton gets picked off 3+ times in this game.
Yeah, he's going to have a rough game. They're favored at 6.5, but I think they win by 10.
I would imagine
easily.
So. Yeah.
Who knows though, man?
I mean, they can't
wrong in the past.
They have to take this game pretty serious because they're, if they start losing these games where Hurts isn't starting, then they could possibly lose that number 1 seed. And so
that's
Philly
what they don't want.
Definitely doesn't want to lose home field advantage. So I think they're going to be playing very hard in this game, and they'll take the Saints to the, to the house.
Hopefully. Moving on to Carolina at Tampa Bay. I've got Carolina in this one after they showed out last week.
Yeah.
I think Steve Wilkes is the head coach there. I think if they don't hire him, unless they can get somebody crazy, which I don't know who. It's between the Broncos have the money right now to buy any head coach they want.
Yeah.
So I think they're probably going to make the splash, especially already firing Hackett and getting on the coaching search now. I mean, if Jim Harbaugh gets knocked out today, he could very well be the coach of the Broncos in the next week or two, is what a lot of people are speculating.
That'd be
Him
crazy.
or McVay, or not
he's just
McVay,
been
Peyton.
reiterating back and forth that he's going to stay with Michigan.
But you know what Michigan can't do?
Pay
him $25 million a year.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You're talking like a 10-year, $250 million coaching deal.
Yeah,
like a Gruden type deal.
Yeah, it would be quite a bit for sure. But they need to bring back Steve Wilkes. I think if you look at the mistake the Raiders made last year by not keeping Bisaccia, they can see this guy that stepped in, rallied the team, kept the locker room together, and created a winning atmosphere. I don't understand why anybody would let go of that, and they should look at Las Vegas's mistake and learn from it. The Bucks, however, when they played the Panthers last time, that was their worst game of the season, only putting up 3 points. Tom Brady had his worst game of the year, and the Panthers.
I mean, you can go week to week on first game of the year for Brady at this point.
Oh, no, for sure. I was so pissed that they won that Cardinals game. They did not deserve to win
No, they
that.
didn't.
But
damn it, Trace.
I could definitely see the Panthers win this game. I mean, they've got a great defense with Brian Burns. I don't think they're going to have J.C. Horn because he just had
his
hand
wrist
surgery.
is broken.
Wrist, yeah, that is
done for the
a
year.
Big blow to them. So,
and Vita Vea is got a calf injury, not playing for the Bucks. So
he's
big
been
on
out.
the run game.
Yeah, so
you might see Deontay and Chuba have a really good game. It's kind of the injuries are working out for either team's strength. I mean, obviously Sam Darnold's not the strength, but with J.C. Horn being out, you've got Brady maybe being able to take advantage of that secondary.
It's just crazy. Like the Bucks can only move the ball when it's hurry up offense. I don't understand why Byron Leftwich just doesn't be like, okay, well this is what we're gonna do.
Just 2-minute offense
the
whole time.
way. That's the only time they've been moving the ball.
Yeah.
So
that's
just
Brady's strengths right there. Just let him run the offense.
Give him 8 plays and just go with it.
Just run it. Just run them down their throats.
All right, so we both have the Panthers. The Bucks are actually favored by 4 here, so I don't think that's. I would take the Panthers in that.
I'm taking the Panthers too, just because that offensive line is so bad. There's no way for even the greatest quarterback of all time to overcome it. So, what's going on in this Kansas game, Chad?
They're down right now. They just hit a big 3. They're down 6 points.
6 minutes left in the first.
Oklahoma State, first Big 12 matchup of the year.
Real quick to interject, I don't like that there's halves in college basketball.
You don't like that there's halves?
Yeah, because they play
a full 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Why don't you like that? That's just the way it is.
It just seems weird that there's just 2 halves.
I like it because it makes it makes the game go fast. Like a college basketball
NBA game already is only like 2.5 hours.
No, I know, but it just goes back fast.
It's just weird to me. It's just like how the NFL and college is so different. It's like that's technically your farm league. They should be playing the same fucking game that you are.
No, I don't like that. I agree with you on that. The rules need to be the same.
And it's just like, like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, like 2 feet in, 1 foot out, or 2 feet in, 1 foot in for college football. Just the different shit. And it was just like, they should be playing the same game.
These guys need to be playing better.
I digress. Anyways, Kansas is coming back, though.
God damn it. Just gave up another 3. Come on, Jay.
That's what happened. We looked at it.
That's what happened.
Moving on, Cleveland at Washington. Washington's got a lot more to play for. That's why I have them picked in this game.
Really?
You've got Cleveland, though.
Well, maybe this should be it, too, because I've got,
unfortunately,
the Cleveland Browns picked in this game.
I just think
That is because Carson Wentz, man. I think he is so done. I don't have any faith in him.
you're right. I forgot that they benched Heineke. Yeah. But here's the thing, though. Chase Young's back this week.
Yeah, that is true. I think he played last week, didn't he?
Basically, no, I don't think he did.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think this might be his first week, but I could be wrong. But with him being back, I mean, Washington does have damn near one of the best defensive lines in the league with him on it.
They do.
So,
They're really good against the run.
And I still don't think, I think the 2 years off is still affecting Deshaun to the point where I don't know if he's going to be able to overcome. I think this is basically their preseason with Deshaun these last
just to see
4
what
or
he
5
can do.
games, or how many games was it? Six games.
Yeah.
This is basically your preseason to get him back in for next year, because this team with him, a full off season, I think Cleveland should be up there in the AFC.
I would think so next year. I mean,
Yeah.
if they can keep Joe, they're going to lose Hunt, but yeah, there's going to be a few things that they're going to have to do to try to keep that team together. I mean, Amari Cooper and all that, but that's why I've gotten picked in this game is when I see Carson Wentz play, I see really bad football, and I think that's going to be
Watch
factor
Heineke
here.
will probably have to come in and save this game.
Yeah, I mean,
they do.
That would be hilarious, and good on him. I like Heineke.
I do too, man. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Moving on to Jacksonville at Houston. I've got Jacksonville. You got Jacksonville.
I do.
Trevor Lawrence is looking like a legit QB now. It's crazy how, I mean, they played, I think, above their record early on. They just had miscues and shit that, I think with the new coach and figuring all that shit out and dealing with the aftermath of Bourbon Urban, you realize now that this team is a really good team.
Yeah.
They've got a solid defense. They've got a run game. They've got a passing game right now with guys that next year, when you add people like Calvin Ridley, this team is going to be legit next year.
They sure
and
will
right
be.
now, they're playing for first in the AFC South. So
How awesome is that, man?
they could have a first-round bye in the playoffs.
At a first round bye.
If they win their division, they get a first-round bye.
No, there's only one.
Oh,
team
that's right. I
yeah.
forgot they fucking changed it.
Yeah, I was like, what?
That's
but
right.
No, I mean, for
only
them
the
to
first,
even
only the first team
win the
first place
division,
gets it.
I'm beckoning for
I'm an idiot.
Doug Peterson to get the Coach of the Year, because you look at what he came into, and they were the first pick of the draft last year.
Yeah.
So I mean, to take a team like that and now to win the division because the Titans have lost 5 straight, I'm all about it. It's nice
I
seeing the
think the
Jags do it again.
Titans are going to blow it all up.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
I think you got to trade Henry.
They don't
I
even
think you
believe
gotta
in Malik
just-
Willis right now.
No, they had Josh Dobbs,
Yep.
who I think the last team I remember him playing for was Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was a while ago.
He did not look very good.
He doesn't look very good just in general. Did you see this? Just his player photo?
I don't want to get on that.
He's got a
but
bulbous head. It's strange.
It's kind of strange.
I've got a big head,
Yeah.
but his is weird. I just wanted to mention that. I just saw the picture. I was like, it's a weird head.
He's
You got a weird head. I'm going to mention that you've got a weird head. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
It's got to be mentioned.
San Francisco at Las Vegas. Las Vegas
He's gonna get beat.
is going to get beat up.
Oh, they've got now. This is huge news.
Unless Stidham did him, you know what I mean?
Jared Stidham stepping in. Jarrett.
There's T's at the end.
Oh, I thought it was Jared.
I thought it was
Okay.
Jared too.
Okay.
It's Jarrett.
Well, Derek Carr is taking a sacrifice for the team and stepping
No,
away.
he's a fucking crybaby.
He is. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt
Nah,
because
he's
it's
a fucking
embarrassing for him.
crybaby, dude. Just
I
stand on the
love
sideline
it.
and realize that you're a loser.
When I saw the news, I got the hugest smile after it because, God damn, he's one of the most overrated quarterbacks. He's the most losing quarterback since he's come into the league.
He's serviceable, but it's just, I think he's had some terrible fucking coaches, but yeah, he's been evaluated.
Oh, big
a
time.
lot.
Yeah. I mean, he'll put up decent numbers. He's been in the top 5 in
He's
passing
leading
yards
the
a
league in
few times.
interceptions this year.
He is now leading the league. Yeah. So he's getting benched, second string stepping in for the Raiders, and they're going up against the 49ers
You know why they're
defense.
benching him, though?
Why?
Because if he gets hurt,
Oh.
$30 million is guaranteed to him next year.
Yeah. And if they cut him in the offseason, they save like $5 million on the cap or something.
They can cut him free and clear. They owe him no guaranteed money.
Oh,
Josh
really?
McDaniels is a genius. When they sign that extension, none of his guaranteed money kicks in until the first day of the league year in March.
Oh, I see.
He effectively got a trial year out of Derek Carr while signing him to an extension to make him happy,
Yeah.
and he's going to cut him before it even kicks in.
That's smart, man. That is smart. And then he's going to keep Josh Jacobs because Josh Jacobs is in a career year.
Yeah, and you got one of the best running backs in the league that's leading the league in rushing.
Yeah.
And all you need to do is maybe find somebody like Tom Brady to come in and
Tom Brady's retiring.
he's not retiring.
Yeah. No,
He came out and said he doesn't even think about it.
That doesn't matter because he's focused on the next week, but he's going to retire. There's no way he's coming back after this year.
It's he's either going to be in Las Vegas or San Fran. Speaking of which, San Fran's going to win this game.
There's no doubt about it. They're favored by 9.5. That defense, Nick Bosa is Defensive Player of the Year. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, he sealed that up for sure.
Yeah. You look at the way the Cowboys defense.
Well, I don't know.
No, but Micah Parsons' defense has been falling off.
Might still. I'm not on Micah Parsons anymore. I think you might have been right with your initial first pick.
Judon? Really? How many sacks is he up to now? Because
I don't know.
Bosa's, I think, 17 and a half.
I just feel like with the scheme that he's in, though, he's like the only good thing on that defense. Nick Bosa, there's a lot of guys on that team still. They have two of the best linebackers in the league behind him.
Oh, I know, but
I don't know. You're probably right, though. I think
it's just
because
of the overall record of Judon. Let's see here. Nick Bosa 17.5 and Judon 15.5. So
yeah. I mean, we'll see how it plays out. Right now, though, you probably are right. They are going to base it off of stats.
I bet Bosa hits 20 too.
He might.
He's still got 2 games left. So
maybe he'll hit 22.5. Isn't that the record? Isn't that what Strahan got? It's 22.5.
Yeah, and then Watt tied it last year with just a half
TJ.
sack. Yeah, it's such.
All right, so let's get to the New York Jets versus Seattle. We both have the Jets because you know why.
No, we don't. I've got Seattle.
Did you change it?
Did I? Oh, because I did. I sent you my picks earlier. I did these picks today. I forgot that I sent you my picks.
Okay, so yeah,
give me changed on that because I think Seattle, with them being at home, you look at New York has to travel clear across the country. Yeah, I do think they have a good shot.
Mike
with
White's back though.
Yeah, Mike White stepping in there, that's a big deal. But he's coming off injury, rib injury, so it's going to be hard to get that full extension sometimes in the oblique. So I could see Seattle trying to get a bounce back here. Walker's probably going to be a little healthier, so they're going to be running the ball more.
Well, I just figure with Sauce Gardner holding all over anybody that's a wide receiver on Seattle on his way to the Rookie Defensive Player of the Year, they're probably going to have a hard time passing the ball, so I'm on the Jets.
We might see Trent McDuffie get that over him.
Dude, I think Tariq Woolen might still get it.
No, I'll show you the stat that the rookie cornerbacks that have given up the least amount of receptions and yards.
They're going to go have interceptions too, though.
I know, but Trent McDuffie's leading that. And then Tariq Woolen's 5th, Sauce Gardner's 3rd. There's another dude, I can't remember that's 2nd, but then, McDuffie on the Chiefs is leading. So,
that sounds like a homer comment. I'm gonna let it slide because I have no proof.
Fucking time. That's why I need to have these stats available for this disbeliever over here. Unbelievable.
Yeah. As soon as it's a Chiefs guy, he's gonna win it all.
That's because we're good. We draft well.
You guys do draft well. God damn it. Let's move on to Green Bay and Minnesota. I've got Green Bay. Green Bay's got more to prove. Minnesota's more of the shell of a what are they at? 12 wins now? 12-win team.
Yeah, I believe so.
So I just think Aaron, and Christian are going to have a hell of a game.
Christian might not play, though. He's questionable.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I don't think he played in that last game, and I think it's kind of a serious injury he's dealing with. But Green Bay's offense has been coming around.
They have been.
Right at the right time.
Because they're starting to run the ball like what you should do.
Yeah, especially with A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones.
Yeah, you have one of the best two-headed running backs, tandems in the league. The fact that you aren't running them more just because Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback is stupid.
And it's really shocking me that their defense is actually starting to come together at this time of the year.
Yeah.
That's what's been really surprising. Jair Alexander had an interception that just came right to him last week. So, yeah, I've got Green Bay picked as well to upset them. They're actually favored by 3 points.
Yeah, Green Bay is going to sneak into the playoffs on this one, I think. And
I think so, too.
They're going to Minnesota needs to win as much as they can just to stay up in the standings because
they've got the Vikings and then the Packers got the Lions next week. So they do have some tough couple of weeks, but I think they can probably pull it off. The Lions defense is slipping.
I also think they want to get back at Minnesota for that week 1 beatdown that they gave them.
I think so, too.
Jair Alexander already came out and said that Justin Jefferson, I think he had I forget what his stat line was. he didn't have over 6 catches, and he had like 100 and some yards. And
All right.
Jair was like, that's not going to happen again. And I think they're going to really try. And
God, it's hard to stop him though. Justin Jefferson is unstoppable.
Which, real quick, I do want to talk about this. If he goes over 2,000 yards, should he be the de facto MVP over any quarterback? Because here's what I think we're running into is you need to have like a Cy Young in the NFL.
Yeah.
Because nobody affects the game as much as a quarterback. So to put an MVP on a quarterback and then like everybody else has to like fight with quarterbacks who touch the ball all the time, I just feel like it's stupid. I feel like you need to come up when Brady retires, call it the Brady. I don't know. The Tommy, and that's what
I hope not.
the T Brady
Something
award
like that.
And then every year,
the Montana award.
When Mahomes wins it, you'll have to thank Tom Brady.
Well, you just said it. Mahomes will probably keep winning it.
He's gonna win it this year. He sealed it with that dive last week.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was like, this is gonna be the play.
Well, and then when Hurts got hurt, I was like, that's it.
The thing that really swayed it for me was Joe Burrow was lighting it up.
Hurts got hurt.
I'm not counting out Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow
Hurts got hurt.
Had a horrible second half.
Like when
let me
Mahomes
finish.
was just like, just slide in here.
Just let me finish. Hurts definitely lost it because he wasn't starting, and then Joe Burrow has been killing it. But then when the Lil Collins, the huge injury that we'll get into in this Monday night preview, went out, that changed the fucking game. And after that, he had a horrible second half, threw some interceptions, and actually a pick six or some type of pick six weird thing, and then with Mahomes having that game-sealing play, that's what pretty much sealed it up. But either way, back to the I think Justin Jefferson
Hurts a nice package.
Yeah, he's like, hey, thanks.
Maybe like a shoulder massager or something. Thanks for the MVP, brother.
He's such an asshole. I think we all can agree that Hurts has the better team around him.
Yeah, okay. And we're talking about your rookie cornerback winning the RDPOY.
Well, he is good in that position.
Jerick McKinnon, I think, also leading the league in rushing in the last 4 weeks. But yeah, no,
not rushing,
Mahomes,
receiving TDs.
Well, it's the same thing.
No, that is definitely not the same thing.
Oh, okay.
But
this team's terrible.
Justin Jefferson should get Offensive Player of the Year.
Has.
You know how Cup got it last year?
What?
Cup got it last year with the Offensive Player of the Year. Justin Jefferson will get that this year.
Yeah, but that's.
I think he'll hit 2,000.
I don't know. It's going to be tough because I think he still has like 230 yards. Or I think it might be more than that.
I mean, sometimes he's gotten that in a game, though, man.
Yeah, but now people don't want them to be the one that let it happen. Yeah, that's the problem.
That's just it. I mean, how many times on fourth down have we seen where they're going to go to Justin Jefferson and they still make it happen?
Bastards.
Yeah. Well, I've got Green Bay picked, and you've got
Green Bay. So moving on to Chargers at the Rams. Chargers should win this one because they've got more to play for.
Oh, big time. I mean, well, they're already locked in the playoffs, but they don't want to lose it. And, you know, the Rams got nothing to play for, and their defense has been looking a lot better in the last few weeks. I mean, they just saw a wallop on Christmas Day.
Well, yeah, but against who? Against the broken Broncos team?
Horrible Broncos team. So, yeah, I've got the Chargers pick. They're favored by 6.5. This is the Battle of L.A.,
Yeah, they're playing it, which is weird that when they play each other that they have to change the stadium around so that the Chargers are the
It's kind of weird, right? It's like a New York and Jets thing.
Let's move on to Pittsburgh at Baltimore. We're differing on this one too, dude. I've got Pittsburgh. You've got Baltimore.
I've got Baltimore, but that's because I'm expecting Lamar Jackson to play.
Unless you changed it on me. Jackson's not playing, I don't think.
I just wanted to check it.
Pretty sure it's Huntley.
Jeez, the Ravens have a lot of injured players. Yep, Lamar Jackson is out. Wow. Man, they expected him to only miss 2 or 3 games. It's turning into 4 now.
Yeah.
Yep, well then.
You gonna move it?
God.
I already moved it because I know you're gonna.
No, I think I'm gonna stay with Baltimore.
He's gonna stay?
Yep, I am gonna stay with Baltimore. I think the Pittsburgh, they're going to try to be playing. Make sure Tomlin doesn't get that losing record, and I think that's going to be too much pressure, and they're going to crack.
All right.
Yep.
Then that Monday night game we were talking about, Buffalo at Cincinnati. Last I heard, you had Cincinnati. I also have Cincinnati.
I have Cincinnati too. Yeah. This is the game of the week, probably the game of the year, honestly, because of what's at stake here.
Implications, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if Cincinnati wins, they have the same record as the Bills, right?
They might.
I believe
I'd
so.
have to look. Let's see real quick. Either way, because wouldn't then the Chiefs be in first?
The Chiefs would move to first, but I'm wondering if
Yeah.
Cincy would leapfrog.
Oh,
and
you
be-
might leapfrog him in the second.
In the second, yeah.
Let's see.
Waiting for this to load.
Standings.
Come on.
They would have this. Yep, they would have the same record at 12-4.
And then they would have the tiebreaker.
Yep.
That would be crazy.
This is a huge game.
This
Just
is-
on implications alone. The
Yeah.
Bills would go effectively from having home field advantage to
The third seed.
third seed, which
Yeah.
would fucking suck for them.
Yeah. You know, because any of those teams, I mean, the AFC playoff picture, even wild card weekend is looking to be a
It's a
juggernaut.
murderer's row.
Yeah, slugfest. I mean, you got. I would not want to face the Chargers
Here
right
we
now.
thought the entire AFC West would be in it.
Yeah, we might get two. We'll get two.
We'll
I'm
get
happy
two,
with that.
Barely.
Yep. I mean, I pretty much expected the Raiders and Broncos to suck, so this seems about
No,
right.
you didn't.
Yes,
Not at the
I did.
beginning of the year. We
Yes, I
all
did.
thought that they were going to be better.
I had the Chargers picked in the AFC Championship, man, and I could.
So
I
did
hope
I.
that's not right, but I have them and the Chiefs. If we can go back to our notes, and I'd still have it.
I
written in
think I was
stone.
on the,
right
the
there.
Chargers too as well. So
Yep.
it's not like I was picking the Broncos. But yeah, so that does it for this.
Real quick, let's figure out
what?
our whiskey wager.
Oh, okay.
We have a few games we disagreed on.
We've
So-
got the Baltimore, Pittsburgh. We've got Washington to Cleveland, New England at Miami, and Detroit to Chicago. I think Detroit to Chicago is probably the best.
You
one.
name it. Since
We'll
I've
go
been
to
winning.
Detroit to Chicago.
All right.
Detroit to Chicago.
Gonna give
The
you
Bears.
Another fireball shot.
I brought another one.
Oh, you did? I didn't know you
Yeah.
had two. Well, let's
That
fill
was
that one
supposed
up
to be
then.
my whiskey wager. Are we out? Well, no. Oh, because you don't want to
Yeah.
do that.
Well, I've already got a shot here to end it for the Daily Dose of Excellence, but
Oh.
for the whiskey wager, we can.
Oh, yeah. I have a
Fill
couple
yours
more
up.
of those.
Nice. Well, then
That's it.
So let's
Whiskey
mention
wager.
that whiskey wager from last week.
Oh, I got to do that, huh? What's
Not
what's
gonna-
already in there?
Fireball.
Oh, the last of that other
The
one?
last of that other
I was like,
bottle,
don't
so
mix stuff
I'll-
with,
I'm
don't
not.
do
I'm
that
not.
to me. That's just rude.
So here you go, and you can use the rest of it for the Daily Dose.
Yeah, so this is for,
Here you go. We bet last week that the Steelers and the Raiders, right? Yeah, because it was that immaculate reception game.
yeah. Well,
And-
dude, it's because Franco Harris died before
Yeah.
the game.
And-
So if he would have lived, I would have won somehow.
Yeah. I mean, up to like the last second or
Which,
third
speaking of
minute.
which, that's not funny. Rest in peace.
Yeah,
Franco
I
Harris.
was like, I'm
Sorry.
going to lose this whiskey wager. The Raiders are going to pull this out. And then the Raiders
Raidered.
pull off another Raiders mistake.
Yeah.
And they let the Steelers march down the field and win it in the last few minutes. So
Well, so here's to me
I wish I could do a shot with you,
and
but
losing, because I've been doing that a lot on the whiskey wagers.
just
so.
keep winning at these bets in fantasy football.
I believe I will.
Shout out to you, Alex. We got a big matchup.
Yeah, you better be ready for it. It's coming down the pike real quick tomorrow. It caps off.
You know what I thought about it? If I win in his league, that'll be the Fringe Fanatics crew winning back-to-back
Oh,
years.
that's true.
Yep, you won last year, and then I'll win this year.
That might validate the fact that we have a sports podcast.
I'd say
that
so,
we've won
especially with me
back-to-back
winning my
years.
other league. So
Yeah.
won 250 out of another
Doesn't
league.
say much I did terrible this year, but I was in first in our league for the majority of it. So
Yeah, you
Just,
definitely had the best regular season. That's a heartbreaker there.
yeah, you don't want to be the regular season winner,
No,
At all.
definitely not.
but
All right, let's move on. Are you ready for the Daily Dose of Excellence?
I am. But right now, you're going to be hearing John motherfucking Daly hit you with the hit it hard, man, because that's the only way he hits it, is hard, long, and straight.
Hey, and let's wish him well. He just had knee surgery. Recover and get healthy. We want to see you back out there on the greens, Mr. Daly.
Big ups, John.
Yeah,
Get
get
out
well
there,
soon.
Get that knee fixed. Get out there hitting it hard again.
Our hero.
God damn it. This is the Daily Dose of Excellence.
Excellent.
This is the Daily Dose of Excellence. Gotta say that.
I hit it hard, man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, live at large. I hit it.
That's right, we are back. You just heard John Daly hitting you hard with Hit It Hard. by the man himself, John Daly. And we are here now for your daily dose of excellence, which features backup quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Blaine Gabbert, which you probably haven't heard about him in a little bit, but you're hearing about him now because he managed to save 4 people's lives this weekend when him and his 3 brothers were out on their jet skis cruising around in Tampa, and they saw a helicopter crash actually into the ocean. And they went over and actually saved these people's lives and were there to help with the rescue. And they called the police department, the fire department. Blaine Gabbert actually had 2. I think the mom and the daughter were on his jet ski. And he also had the pilot of the helicopter clinging to the side of his jet ski and was able to push the pilot over to the police when they arrived. And these guys are heroes now. So he goes from backup QB of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to lifesaver in a matter of minutes.
Just in a weekend.
Yeah.
And
what can a weekend do for you?
such an unselfish act. I mean, it
I
was
feel
amazing.
like that was what can a weekend do for you is like an ad for like an online school.
What
can a weekend do for you? I could learn how to become a nurse because I watched a bunch of Grey's Anatomy.
Kind of like the UPS company.
DeVry.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was pretty amazing what he did here because when I was reading about it, like, there's really only a certain amount of weight that a jet ski can take. And he had to get him on that jet ski and get him there fast before they pulled the jet ski under. So it was just pretty incredible for him to do that. Jump, because it just comes down to what we've talked about before. I mean, people have an instinct in them, which is either fight or flight. And, they're going to step in or they're going to step out, and he stepped in.
Yeah, I mean, they heard the helicopter crash. They didn't actually see it crash, and then they were checking out like a yacht club because one of Blaine's brothers wanted to go check it out. So they cruise over there on their jet skis. They hear a sound. They look over, and he said he thought it was like a boat or something that was capsized, and he could see yellow life jackets, and that's when they darted over there right away. I guess the youngest kid was he just popped up. He was trapped under the helicopter for a little bit.
Damn.
He popped up. Blaine asked if anybody else was trapped. They said no. He immediately called the police, and then kept everybody safe until they got there, and then they ended up helping bring him back to the beach, like you said. They ripped back on his jet ski, and everybody was safe and sound, and they got rescued by a backup quarterback in the NFL.
Pretty crazy. I mean, what a coincidence!
Quite a story.
Happens to be the backup quarterback for their NFL team.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
I was just going to read here just a little snippet of what Blaine said afterwards because, anybody can react in a situation like that and try to, act like Superman or, kind of pat themselves on the back. But what he had to say was a true kind of hero statement where when he was asked about it, he said, "I honestly wanted to stay anonymous. I just thought I was doing the right thing at the time. I'm not much of a guy to be in the limelight. Just kind of want to stay under the radar." Obviously, being a backup quarterback.
He's under the radar.
But I just said, "Thankfully, you guys are okay," and I was there. I was at the right place at the right time, I guess. The credit really goes out to Tampa PD. You guys, the fire department, and the sheriff's department, because they were there within 5 seconds. It was pretty remarkable. So
yeah, and he went through it multiple times and just was like, I didn't do. He's like, I just was in the right place at the right time. He's like, these are the real heroes, the people that showed up, and it's just cool to see, especially someone who's in the limelight. I mean, Blaine Gabbert was, I think, a first-round quarterback when he was drafted back in the day for Jacksonville, if I remember right. I could be wrong. So, I mean, this guy is not just, a Joe Nobody, but it is also cool to hear him say, like, I didn't really want any credit for it. I think that says a lot about who he is as a person. So, it's just cool. Was that my phone? It was. God damn it. I needed to put it on silent.
it's all good.
Fucking amateur hour. But yeah, it's just cool to see people like that who are in positions where, obviously everything's going pretty well for him. And even though he's a backup quarterbacks make good money. And he's still a good person. And he's willing to go above and beyond for just his fellow man, which is cool to see.
I think so. He definitely deserves this reward because, I mean, the act to just go through there and save somebody, anybody could have just tried to rush off and get police, but to actually step in there and be their hero says a lot. We need a lot more Blaine Gabberts in the world.
We do. We need more Blaines.
And he will take this virtual Daily Dose of Excellence award.
There you go. Take it, run with it, and hopefully it goes far for you in life with all the other awards you've won.
But those out there driving helicopters, be fucking careful. We've seen way too many helicopter. Yeah, it's just you gas them up. Don't drive in winds.
Do your checkpoint fly list. Dude, get it done.
I mean, it's not a toy, okay?
It's not a fucking toy.
Jesus.
People's lives are in your hands, in your joystick. I'd grab down here. It looked not right. I'm gonna grab up here.
There you
That's
go.
Where it
That's
would
a
be
little more realistic.
Too low. I went too low, and that looked vulgar.
So
I'm
helicopter
sorry.
pilots out there, get it together.
Get your shit together. Did you already pour a shot?
I poured a shot for
Damn
you.
it.
Oh yeah, I forgot to pour yours.
You didn't. You're over there doling them out.
Yep. Fireball.
Oh, now I need to bring another one. All right. Well, this goes out to Blaine Gabbert. He is your daily dose of excellence for today.
A hero indeed.
A hero indeed.
Chris, it's been fun.
It has been fun. We're
Episode-
about done. We're gonna. You want to wrap it up right now?
I mean, what else do we have to cover?
That's about it. I was just gonna take the shot and do a wrap up, but we can wrap it up right now.
Let's just
It's been
finish
fun.
this up. Yeah.
It's episode 17. This one's a little bit of a wild card episode, so whatever happens, happens. It is what it is. I'm probably not gonna do hardly any editing and just put this out.
I don't think you need to. We killed it pretty much, man.
We always kill it, and you guys kill it. And here's to a happy New Year's. This will be out today, so you will be able to listen to it tomorrow. So on the beginning of the new year, spend it with me and Chad Lee, because that's what anybody with a good brain would do.
And we'll be back next Tuesday to record and be back on schedule.
Yeah, and like I said, we do have some cool shit coming down the pike, so I don't know if it's going to be this week. It might be. If not, next week I think for sure. But we're on the up and up. Shit's happening.
It is
leveling up.
Yeah, you guys will be excited to see.
Cheers,
All
Chad.
right. We'll see
I
you
love
guys,
buddy.
next year.
Say you love me.
Love you, buddy.
Thank you.
I didn't hear that. I need to hear
I love
it.
you, buddy, and then you're just gonna ignore me, and I can't handle that.
My bad. It was the headphones.
Damn headphones. Cheers.
Cheers.
See you guys later. Bye bye.
Whoa.